And good morning, everybody. We have about 2 weeks left. We can do this. Oh, it's just been a miserable hard time on all of us, but we're going to make it, okay? So, we have I think it's chapter 11. No, chapter 12. We're going to start chapter 12 today. We're going to skip 11, and then that's it. We just have to get this finished. So, before we talk about a whole lot, if you have not finished chapter 10 test, get that done, all right? If you need a copy of it, let me know. I can get it to you. I haven't corrected everything because this weekend I went off and actually had a little bit of a camping trip this weekend, so I'm going to get that done this morning. So, first of all, today we're going to talk a little bit about triangles. I'm hoping you guys know quite a bit about triangles, so it should be an easy lesson. But I'm going to go all the way to section 12 in my journal, and we'll talk about some things I believe you know. So, first of all, what do we know? Okay, so if it's a scalene triangle, basically none of the sides are equal. Okay, that's the word scalene. None of these. Scalene means no sides are equal. Those don't look equal in length. That one, let's just make up some numbers. Let's say this is 2. Let's say this is, say, 5. Let's say that's 4. That's scalene. Okay, isosceles. Okay, we know that 2 sides are equal. Let's say this is 10. And this is 10, and this might be 3. Okay, it's isosceles, 2 equal sides. Equilateral, all 3 sides are equal. Let's say this is 7, 7, and 7. Okay, 3 congruent sides. Those are the words. Scalene, no sides. Isosceles, 2 sides. Equilateral, all 3 sides are equal. And then we can classify them by their angles. Okay, so if I look at these angles, and I know a little bit about, the size of angles, all of these look like they're less than 90. Less than 90 degrees, okay? None of these angles look like they're less than 90 degrees, so that makes this one an acute triangle. The right triangle is going to have one right angle. It's impossible to have more than one. Can't have 2 right angles, but it has one right angle, which means these other 2 angles are going to add up to 90, okay? Obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle, more than 90, okay? One more than 90 degrees is an obtuse triangle, okay? Then an equilateral triangle is also an acute triangle because they're all less. It's got to be 60, 60, 60. Has to be 60 degrees. 60, 60, 60 has to be, because we know, if you don't know this, the sum of the angles of a triangle are always 180. And I think if you turn the page, what do you know? There it is. It says, and if we were in class, we would do a little activity and have you guys prove this, where you can cut that angle off, cut that angle off, cut that angle, put them all together, and it makes a straight line. You can measure with a protractor. But at any rate, they have to add up to 180. For example, let's say this angle here is 40. Let's say this angle here happens to be 80. Let's see, then you can get that other angle because they have to add up to 180, right? So 180 minus my 40 plus my 80, right? Let's check it out. You probably already have the answer. Of course you do. And I get 60, okay? So no matter what they are, all 3 angles must add up to 180. Triangle, 180. Now, the crazy part about that, if that's true, then all 3 of these angles would equal 180. Okay, now bear with me, listen. All 3 of these angles have to add up to 180. You know that a straight line, if you take a protractor, a straight line is also 180. So it turns out that this angle plus this angle, now those are called remote interior. Okay, remote interior, and they call them remote interior because they are away from my exterior angle, and this is my exterior, because outside, it's my exterior angle. My remote interior added up, the sum of my remote interior have to equal my exterior, so they go angle A plus angle B is equal to angle 1. So these two angles, my remote interior angles, add up to my exterior angle, to their. Okay, now, 180 degrees, right? And we're going to use this a lot, 180 degrees, right? So if that's the case, 180 degrees, if that's 90, then these two are always going to add up to 90, okay? So 90, and these two have to be 90 together. So, and we're going to use that a lot. In fact, let me star that. I will talk about this a bunch of times. I'll say, oh, that's 90, so these two have to add up to 90. I'll say, that's 90, so these two have to add up to 90. I'll say, hey, there it is. It's 90, so these two are going to have to add up to 90, okay? You got that? All right, so let's take a look at my notes today, and then I'll get you into your homework, okay? So, some of these are pretty easy. Okay, number 1, we can call that a right scalene. Right angle scalene because none of the angles are equal. I can call this an acute isosceles. Two sides are equal. Okay, let's write this down. Right, because of the right angle. Scalene, because none of the sides are equal. I would call this an acute, because all the angles are less than 90. Isosceles. There we go. Okay, number 3. Let's do number 3. So let's draw it. Determine whether it's a right angle. Okay, I'm going to do this one on a piece of paper. Number 3. I'm not going to do all of these problems. I'm just going to do a few of them. I've got point 22. It's point Q. I have point 1, negative 2. I've got a point 2, 2, a point 1, negative 2, and that's R. And I've got a point negative 4, 1. I've got a point negative 4, negative 4, and that's S. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, there it is. Okay, determine whether it's a right angle. No way! That does not look like a right triangle. So no, in fact, it looks like an obtuse triangle. That's pretty easy. Got it. Okay, now here comes the fun stuff, okay? Here comes the fun stuff. So, let's just do a few of these because I think they're going to be pretty easy. So, right off the bat, 5. Here's how I like to do it. I like to say that to get x, angle x is going to equal, you ready? I like to write as 180 minus these two, 85 plus 63. And I even put in my calculator like that so that I make it easy. So I do know all three of them add up. All three of them add up to 180. So I just put it in there, okay? So then I let my calculator do the work. I'll go 180 minus parentheses 85 plus 63. What's 5x? 32, okay? That was the easy way to do it. 32 degrees for that one, okay? 6, we'll do this quickly. What am I going to say? These two have to add up to 90. They have to because 90 is already used up here. So these two have to add up 90. So I'm just going to go 90 minus 61. And I get 29, right? Easy, okay? Now, what about 7? Ooh, 7's kind of tricky, but we learned in our book, in our journal, we learned that these two angles here added together equal the exterior angle, okay? So I'm going to set this up. I know these two remote inter 2x plus 6 plus 36 are equal to the exterior angle, 4x minus 18, okay? So then if I had to solve for x, let's add those two first. 2x plus a 42 equals a 4x minus 18, right? This is easy to solve. Minus 2x minus 2x, 42 equals 2x minus 18 plus 18 plus 18. And again, if you can't solve for x, then you're not moving on to geometry, period. I mean, you have to know how to solve for x. Yeah, I'd be really sad if you couldn't solve for x. Plus 18 is 60 equals 2x. Divide by 2, x is 30. Okay, if x is 30, then I can find that angle, okay? I can take my 30 degrees, put it up here. I go 2 times 30 is 60, plus 6 is 66. So this angle is 66 degrees. And then I can even find this because I can add those two together. It's 36 plus 66, 66 plus 36. I get an answer of this angle is 102 degrees. Okay, there you go. Okay. I won't do 8, but these two have to add up to 90 because 90 is already used here. Here's 90, so these two have to add up to 90, and you can do that and solve for x. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple more so that you guys know what's going on. Okay, so let's do number 9, words. Okay, oh, words are tough, but we can do this. So always, when you see a story problem, always draw a picture if you can. It's going to make it so much easier. I don't mind story problems if I can draw a picture. So the measure of one acute angle of a right triangle. Ah, right triangle. Okay, I'm going to start right there. Okay, the measure of one acute angle of a right triangle is 12 more than 3 times the measure of the other acute angle. So let's have angle A, angle B, and angle C. So I don't know anything about angle B at all. Nothing. So let's call this X. Why not? Because it's unknown. X is our variable. Unknown. So then the other side is 12 more. So this one's going to be 12 more. 12 more than 3 times the measure of this one. So this angle is 12 more plus 3 times measure of that angle. Okay, so maybe if I redrew it, it would look a little differently. It might look more like this, possibly. But I don't have to draw it perfect. Okay. So what I do know though is these two angles have to add up to 90, right? So I'm going to go 12 plus 3x plus x equals 90, right? Because 90 is used up here, total of 180, so these two have to add up to 90. Okay, so then I've got a 4x plus 12 equals 90, right? Solve, I'm going to go minus 12, minus 12. I've got a 4x equals, let's see, that's going to be 72, no, 78, sorry, 90 minus 12, yeah, 78, divide by 4, and I get an answer of 19.5, because if x equals 19.5, what's the question? Find the measure of each angle, okay? So I'm going to take my 19.5, and that angle is 19.5. Got that. Okay, so if this angle is 19.5, then remember, these two angles have to add up to 90. So I'm just going to go, it's 90 minus 19.5, and 90 minus 19.5, and I get an answer of about 70.5. Okay, there's my two angles. All right, so that's all I really want to go through today. Your homework is page 327, 1 to 7. Let's take a look at that really quickly. We're going to look at page 327. So we skipped chapter 11. We don't have time, which is kind of nice. We're almost done. It's just that. Okay? It's pretty easy. You can do this. Okay? Page 327. There it is. 1 through 7. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, you guys. Looks like it's going to be a nice one.